Good morning everyone. Today, moving ahead with economics for class 12th once again. We'll study Indian economic development chapter 5, that is India's foreign trade, and little bit of we'll understand the concept of new economic policies. Understood? So, moving ahead in this chapter, we'll understand very first point, that is what is international foreign trade. Students, trade concept is not at all new to us. Trade means inflow and outflow of the goods, or you can say export and import. Why we do export and import? Just to enhance our country's growth. Sometimes it is not possible to grow everything in our country, so we get it from other countries. Sometimes our domestic products are in the bulk, so where the demand persists, we send our products to that country. So in technical terms, it becomes export and import. So this says that domestic production of certain goods may exceed its consumption. Sometimes when we grow some materials or we grow some crops or products, its production increases than its consumption. Sometimes the bulk of it remains. So what we do with that bulk? Do we throw it? No. That would be the wastage of our resources. Then what we do with that? Generally what we do, we search out the market in other countries and then we export these products to those countries. So what happens? It exports to other countries and earn money. Obviously, when lot of investment is being done to produce something, what we get, we generally get to earn money also. So when we produce it and the extra what is in bulk is left with our country, domestic country, and we send it to other countries, we get money out of it and we earn money. That we say that we earn in reserves, foreign currency. So here comes with the definition that export and import of certain goods and services across different countries is called international trade. Trading globally, trading not to particular country, that means it becomes international trade. Students, moving ahead with that, there is a concept that is gains of international trade. We learned what is international trade, that export and import that we do is international trade. What are its gains? What we get from it? Why we generally do it? There must be purpose of doing something. The very first point is it facilitates international specialization. We come to know that for what we are specialized into, what products that are being in the demand and globally. So we get to know all these things. So it specializes international trade and it facilitates our international specialization. Other than that, second point is it helps in finding markets for surplus domestic output. Lot of bulk of raw materials or finished products, I would say, sometimes left untouched just because consumption of that products are less. So we search out for that market in other countries where the demand of that product is persist. Moreover, the production of that product may be less over those countries. So we find market for surplus domestic output where we can send our products and those products can be consumed over that country. Understood? Next point. It facilitates the import of those goods which cannot be produced in our country. That means it motivates those products also. We see, students, globally whole of the market is open. What they want, what other countries want, we provide them. Sometimes what we want, we get it from them. Sometimes the things which are not available in our country and are in heavy demand, we purchase it from other countries. Sometimes when manufacturing of certain product is too much or costing too much, then too we purchase it from other country. So it's vice versa. It is not one way that we are only sending our domestic products or domestic outputs to other countries. We are not facilitating their products. It is the mutual concern. It becomes that it facilitates the import of those goods which cannot be produced in our country, which is sometimes difficult. Sometimes we don't have technology. Sometimes our manufacturing cost is low. Sometimes the raw materials are not sufficient with us. So there are various factors which promote us to do this thing. Other than that, choices of the people also changes, because of which we move into this. Means of foreign exchange. It gives us a better infrastructure. We ask them to motivate other countries to invest in our country. Moreover, we do such kind of tradings because we get foreign exchange out of it. Foreign reserves are maintained so as to promote our country. That is required. That increases the growth. So students, it gives us the means of foreign exchange. Next point. It promotes the quality of life. Quality of life means the standard of life. If we have choices, then we will consume that. If we have just monopoly market, then we don't have any choice to purchase any of the different things. We have just one product, and we are stick to one product only. That becomes stagnant. So it increases the quality of life of the people of the trading countries. When we are trading between different countries, we are exchanging different ideas. We are exchanging different technologies, modern inputs, modern choices, patterns, demands, everything. Hence, we get a better society to live into it. Each and every sector is being privileged that with this international trade, it enhances the thought process also. Next point. Expansion of the market. Definitely. Sometimes we start producing that products most when we find out that in certain country our demand is rising. Like for spices, your dry fruits, we are exporting it in a large bulk. Other than that, it enhances investment opportunities also. We ask them to invest in our country so as to get good infrastructure, promote and enhances the market opportunities. Ultimately, all these points, what does they give us our country? It increases the pace of growth. It increases our GDP. It increases our gross domestic product. With that, we come to know that, yes, we are into the race of the developed countries. If we are not doing all these things, if we do not support international trade, then we are into the stagnant economy. We are into the degrading economy. We are stick to our country, unaware of what is going on globally. Ultimately, the race into which we are into the one of the developing countries. We won't be considered one day the developed country if we won't consider all these things. So completing this race, completing this space of becoming the developed country, we need to open our minds, we need to open our economies, and international trade and foreign trade becomes essential part of the economics. Understood? For India's economy, it is the major role that is being played by foreign countries too. Moving ahead with the next point is India's foreign trade at the time of independence. It is very much essential to understand this, what was the situation at the time of colonial period, how foreign trade was being done, and what impact does it had when the Britishers left our country. Students, one more important thing that need to make it understand is that when Britishers left our country, it was the drain of wealth. We were left with nothing. They took all away things from our country, and our country was stagnant. It was into a bleak growth. Understood? So moving ahead with those points only, the first thing was that Indian economy suffered this colonial exploitation a lot. There was nothing left. So to balance this now we have to go through various things, the various changes. Other than that, what British used to do, they used our natural resources as raw materials for their industrial output. It was very easy for them to collect raw material from our country like cotton, jute and various outputs from our country, raw materials, and export it to Britain to support their market. Their whole process was into the supporting and enhancing the British market. They wanted Britain to be ahead than India, and they successfully did it by ruining our country. They ruined our country very well at that point. Poverty, unemployment, our country was left with these things only. Other than that, Indian economy was exploited as a market for a British industrial good. Raw materials were exported to Britain, and what our country was getting, only the finished goods. Finished goods were all over spread in our domestic market, and people were bound to purchase that. The competition with the finished goods of them was high, and that led to the decay of handicraft industry. Handicraft industry was the basic industrial mode when your princely court and all those were there in our country. Demand for the handicraft industry reduced as they supported, Britishers supported, the colonial period supported their products, finished products, machine made products. So competition with them had to be made with the handicraft, and they couldn't, so decay of the handicraft industries had to be there. Other than that, the direction of trade was exclusively in the favor of Britishers. Britishers used to favor the trade as only single line was there. Going towards their Britain was the raw material, finished products were coming to the India. Forced commercialization of trading was there. Forced commercialization for farmers were there. Indigo was the basic thing that they were asking farmers to grow. And so these were the difficulties which they were facing. So on a whole, we can say that what thing they left with us was volume of international trade was moderate. It was export and import was there. But the composition of trade indicated backwardness because it was leaving our country at a very stagnant mode. And lastly, the direction of trade was restricted because there was no growth for the Indian industry or our India. So students, today we have gone through three basic concepts of this chapter. That is, what is international foreign trade, gains of international trade, and how was the condition of India when Britishers left our country. Tomorrow or in the next part, we'll move on to various other important topics. Till then, thank you.